Now, if you're thinking about getting a brand new electric vehicle in Singapore from the Toyota Group, you're probably thinking about the Lexus UX 300e. But if you want a Toyota, this is it. This is the new generation of Toyota battery electric vehicles, and the first one to arrive in Singapore is the Toyota bZ4X. Now let's take a look. Now, if you're thinking about buying a brand new car like this Toyota bZ4X and thinking about trading in your car, try selling it with Coates instead. Coates uses its network of dealers to get you the best price possible. In fact, they're so confident of getting you the best price that if you sell your car for a higher price than what they quote you, they'll give you $100. But don't just take our word for it, look at the hundreds of raving reviews on their service. To find out more, visit quotes.com.sg. That's QUOTZ.com.sg. Now back to the car. The price for the Toyota bZ4X is currently unavailable. The single electric motor produces 201 brake horsepower and 266 Nm of torque. The single-speed transmission brings the car from 0 to 100 km per hour in 7.5 seconds. The 71.4 kWh battery capacity provides a drive range of 436 km. For more details on the Toyota bZ4X or any other car, head on to sgcarmart.com to help you make the smart choice on your next car. Ta-da! Now we're in a different location because it rained very heavily, like you can see from the water on the hood, and we're very dedicated to making videos for you guys. Now this is a full battery electric vehicle, so it's going to be very sleek, very clean. Across the front, it kind of in fact looks like a low poly Toyota Harrier model. Now you're going to get full LED treatments, very sleek lines across the here. No grills in front because there's no engine to keep cool, but there are functional arrows and a splitter down here. You're also going to find a camera housing up here for a 360 view that we'll find out more about later. Now onto the side. Now over by the side, you're going to get 20-inch large rims on this car, and also because BEV, so this is your charging port with Type 2 and CCS. So you get 7 kW AC charging and 150 kW DC fast charging. Now speaking about charging, you're also going to get a fully functional solar panel sunroof like the Ioniq 5, which Toyota says gives you up to 1,650 kilometers of extra range per year from the sun. So that's pretty neat. Now let's check out the rear. Now over by the rear, you're going to get a huge rear diffuser. Look at that. And it gives it a very sporty look. Also a shark fin antenna. It looks good. And this smoked out rear windscreen, which looks really incognito. Further, a little mini spoiler here and a single line tail light like the Yaris Cross or the Toyota Harrier. Now over here in your bZ4X moniker, open up the power tailgate. Open up the power tailgate. Now open up the boot. Open up the power tailgate. There you go. 452 liters worth of hauling capacity. Now you can see that the boot bumper is rather large, but it will eat up the anti-trolley length test by a hair. You're also going to eat up your luggage, no problem, with a parcel shelf and a dual level boot cover. So if you want more space but a deeper boot lid, you can. And also a tire repair kit on the inside. From here you can access the knockdown rear seats at a bit of a stretch, so 1.75 is just nice. Now one thing I don't get is why the doors have to be this large. Just check out the difference between the door itself and the rest of the sheet metal. It's such a huge thing. And another thing, the doors don't open the widest, so entry, while it is a rather large aperture, it's not the super most convenient. Now on the rear of the bZ4X, it is rather tall, so because it's a battery electric vehicle, battery is underneath, but 1.75 meters tall, it's still kind of good enough head space. I have a lot of leg space. It is lengthwise quite long, but no space to tuck my feet underneath the driver if I want more space. So the furthest that I can kind of slump down is like this. On the side, you're gonna get a nice gloss black trim here and cup holders, bottle holder here. But other than that, it's rather Spartan. A single dome light over by the middle, 2 USB-C charging ports, and a standard aircon vent with your really functional dial. Nothing fancy like a touch screen. Isofix points are here, 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 and here. But if you don't have 3 rear passengers, you can pull down the middle for this nice armrest with 2 cup holders and a slot for your phone or your wallet. Now onto the front. One thing I forgot to mention is that nobody likes a loud window, but nobody likes a slow window either. So what the bZ4X does is it goes up quickly and then slows down for a softer closing. Now inside this Toyota bZ4X cockpit, this is different from any other Toyota that you've seen before, except for this logo. For instance, your instrument cluster is up here in this totally new design that looks out of this world from other Toyotas. Now down here on the steering stack is a driver's attention monitor. If you take your eyes off the road for too long, it will issue you a warning to let you know, hey, better keep your eyes on the road. Now over by the middle, you have a center-oriented multimedia infotainment display system. It takes wired Android Auto but wireless Apple CarPlay. You can monitor how well your solar panel is charging in terms of energy stored or distance stored. So you can see how much distance, for example, today we've charged up 1.1 kilometers from the solar panels alone. Going down here, you have ventilated seats and your climate control in a very nice design with physical buttons, so thank God. Hazard light right here and a very nice, elegant Lexus style gear shift, I have to say. Now over here, you have your 360 camera view as well as automatic parking and your traction control. Now electronic parking brake, regenerative braking with one single setting, and brake auto hold. Now underneath the gear shift, you're going to get a hideaway wireless charger with USB port for your Android Auto. Further down, 2 cup holders and a cubby space with a deeper compartment if you so need to. Now underneath is a larger cubby space with USB-C and 12-volt charging if you need more chargers. Now over by the dashboard, you're going to find this very nice finish, this fabric, which I think it's better than always either leather or plastic. This is a very nice cozy finish along with the JBL sound system around the car. Now, to the very weird thing about this car, this steering wheel, it's rather smaller than the usual, but it is loaded with all your controls, your media controls and advanced driver aids. But this is like a format that I've never seen before, so it takes some time to get used to, especially the overall small steering wheel. And yeah, it kind of feels like it belongs on a truck instead. But while some parts of this car is rather elegantly finished, like this gear shift, which I really like, some parts of this, like these buttons, feel really plasticky, and it's kind of feel like they don't belong inside this car for the future. Now, does this car drive as good as it looks? One way to find out. So, driving the all-new Toyota bZ4X, how does it feel? Well, it's almost like a Lexus in how refined and quiet it is. But stats, first of all, single motor. They have a dual motor variant, but we don't know yet if it's coming to Singapore. It's generating some 201 brake horsepower, 266 Newton meters of torque, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 7.5 seconds. So it is no slouch, but also at the same time, it's not super quick, right? Especially for an EV, where you usually expect instant torque, but with this, not so much. I guess they've opted for a more refined and comfortable drive, so check it out. In fact, there's only one drive mode apart from Eco and Snow, which I kind of feel don't really count because I'm thinking about something like Sport or Sport Plus. Like if I put my foot down, there is a little bit of that EV instant torque, but it really doesn't feel as raw as something you find in a Tesla or an MG. So it is refined, it is quiet, it's not super quiet, but it does mute out the noises really well. And I have to say, this is kind of like the all-new Toyota Sienna Hybrid, where they finished the interior with like this kind of cloth texture, so it looks and feels really cozy. It doesn't have to be leather everything. Now in terms of handling, it's gonna be rather quiet, but also very planted, because while it is a crossover SUV, it is an electric crossover SUV, the first Toyota dedicated BEV. So its chassis is not compromised by engine placements. It is dedicated, so you have a lot of space, and your battery is right down below, so it feels really stable. So even if you shift around a little bit, it feels like it's just stuck onto the road 100%. Suspension is really comfortable. It's not bumpy. It doesn't rock and roll too much. It's just really pleasant overall. So in terms of safety systems, it comes with a full suite of Toyota systems. In fact, it comes with one of the most, if not the most intricate proximity sensors that I've ever seen in terms of how specific the sensors are. I think the one that I've seen on this feels more specific than any other car, and it is rather advanced. So along with this, up here, this driver instrument cluster being up high, everything is very easy to see. You're also gonna get the 360 cameras, which are rather commonplace nowadays, but one cool feature that I like is when you're reversing, the 360 cameras turn on and actually makes the BZ4X invisible on screen, so you can actually see what's under you and say where the parking lights are, which is a really useful feature. You're also gonna get smart cruise control, lane keeping assist. So let's see if I can, yeah, there we go, adaptive cruise control and lane keeping assist is on. So now we're on the highway and it is set at 90 kilometers per hour, following the car in front, and you gotta keep your hands on the wheels actually. But it coming up to a gentle curve, let's see if it follows. And yeah, it's following the line, so this is gonna be very relaxing. And you might think that it's a gimmick, but I can assure you that once you get used to it, it's a quality of life upgrade. After that, when you drive a car without these systems, it's gonna feel like, wait a minute, something's missing. And that's exactly what a good feature does for you. Now, one thing that I've noticed while driving this, and we've only had it for like less than a day, is that the driver attention alert is quite prominent. In fact, it's rather easy to trigger it, which is a good thing. Just for demonstration's sake, I'm looking straight, but I'm gonna look like I'm not looking straight. And just to make things extra safe, I'm gonna turn on the smart cruise control and lane keeping assist so we don't get into any trouble. So right now, there's this little camera here that's looking into my eyes, and I'm gonna look like I'm looking away. There you go, you hear that? That is the alert telling you, hey, keep your eyes on the road, you lazy f***. And there we go, that is a front collision avoidance, even though it's kind of far away. But it's good to know that it's working. And of course, this is still with the smart cruise control on, so I feel extremely safe. And it is a Toyota, so you know, it's reliable. So the Toyota BZ4X, is it a will buy, won't buy, go try? Well, if you ask me, this car is a go try, because even though it is a fantastic looking car, it feels fantastic, it is rather in a sort of weird headspace with the other cars. If you're looking at a kind of this size SUV that's electric, you're probably looking at the EQB or the Tesla Model Y, but I'll grant you the Tesla Model Y will feel nothing as comfortable in the interior. It won't feel as familiar. Instrument cluster, buttons, feels like a car. But then if you're gonna go with the EQB, it's gonna be way more expensive and it will feel like a Mercedes, but it's not gonna feel as cozy as this, I reckon. It is gonna be a different kind of space, something more luxurious. Now, if you're looking at it from a utility perspective, but you still want an EV, then I'm gonna be thinking of the MG5 EV. So that's an electric vehicle, station wagon, and it's gonna be less than 200,000. So this is projected to be some 250 to 260,000. So that's quite a stark contrast. Now that granted, the MG EV5 won't be as quick, but it will feel quick because the power delivery is in a more raw form. And then there's also going to be the BYD Atto 3, which is kind of smaller, but it's also a lot cheaper and roughly the same range, roughly the same speed. And that's why this car for me is a go try. So that's our review of the all-new Toyota Beyond Zero 4X. What do you think? Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Let us know down in the comments below, as well as any other car that you'd like to see us try out. Do leave in the comments below so that we can read every single one of these comments. And also, if you've made it this far, please consider subscribing to us and hitting that bell notification so you don't miss any of our future uploads. We can see that some 80% of you guys aren't subscribed at the moment. And lastly, follow us at TikTok. We are at SG Karma. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one while I enjoy this Toyota BZ4X. Bye-bye.
Why you're here?
Because it's raining.
Hey!
You have an infotainment system that is, I don't know how big because there are no official stats. Phone or your wallet. Nice. Barang. Your proximity sensors work. I think actually I'm gonna cancel that because it won't end up in the video anyway.